Hello, I'm Dave and welcome to Scotland. We're lost. Well, we're not lost. We're north of Moffat and just by St Mary's Loch, and I think this is the A702. And we don't know where we are, and the we, by the way, is Roger, who's the cameraman today. We have just been riding around Scotland on these two wonderful machines, trying to work out what we can tell you about the two of them. So great thanks to Suzuki and to Honda for lending us these bikes for a week. And the honest truth that we've come down to is it is going to be personal preference one over the other, because there is no defining feature on either of them that separates them from the other. The Suzuki V-Strom 800DE, to give it its full title, a lot of low-end torque. It will punch out of a corner in third gear, it will roll on overtake in sixth, no problems whatsoever. The seat is wonderfully comfortable. The little screen on the front may look too small, but it's an absolute masterpiece. You can spend all day, and I do seriously mean all day, on this bike, and you'll get off at the other end refreshed. The bars curve back towards you, your arms are nice and low, there's no strain on your neck or your back. Very, very comfortable. Fully adjustable suspension, so if you load it up with the luggage and you put a load of stuff in there, you're going to be absolutely fine. Just a couple of clicks and away you go. Hopefully the cars going past on the road behind me aren't going to interrupt the audio too much. Everybody goes by and looks at us like we're strange. Anyway, back to the Suzuki. The TFT display, nice and clear. It's got all the relevant information that you want on it. The Honda one perhaps just edges it, but it's not as if there's anything in it between the two of them really. Mirrors, beautiful and clear. A little bit of vibration at sort of 70 to an indicated 80 miles an hour, and that is a common factor between both the bikes. Perhaps only the negative really you could come up with between the two of them is that they both vibrate at motorway speeds. But in honesty, if you're sitting on a motorway, you can do it on one of these, but you want A roads, and when you're on them, they're beautiful and smooth. Here we go. Just have to wave at the biker as he goes past. That's two of them. That's three of them. There's no accounting for taste. The first one was BMW. Anyway, enough about the Suzuki. Beautiful motorcycle, V-Strom 800DE, sweet. The Honda, yeah, a little bit smaller physically and about 20, maybe 30 kilos lighter than the V-Strom. And it does show when you get off the Suzuki, the first time you get on the V-Strom, it does, the Transalp rather, it does feel very, very compact. But a few minutes into it and you won't notice the difference at all. I'm a little under 6 feet, just about that much under 6 feet, and I fit the Suzuki perfectly. My colleague Roger is about 4 inches shorter than me, and he finds that the Transalp for him is an absolute perfect fit. I've been riding the Transalp today and it takes about 5 minutes before you forget that you're riding a smaller bike. It's that fast, you just adapt to it. It's very, very comfortable. The seat is a little firmer, perhaps the comfort seat option on this would be the option. I'm a fan of quick shifters. The Suzuki's got one. I believe there's an option on the Transalp to have one fitted, but it will clutchless upshift with just a little check of the throttle. The brakes, very positive, nice amount of feel. The rear brake on this one is a little bit absent, but maybe that's just this particular one and 5 minutes in the garage with taking some air out of the system and it would come along. Other than that, the display, the TFT display, it's a little crisper than the Suzuki, but again, as we were saying, it's absolute margins. It's not that one is bad, the other is good. You're splitting the tiniest of differences between the two. The one thing, however, that the Transalp does have for it is especially if you're doing longer distances, is fuel consumption. With some spirited riding today, we are seeing a genuine 65 to 70 to the gallon out of this bike, compared to the V-Strom, which is in the high 50s. But we had a bit of a napkin calculation over a cup of tea earlier, and we reckon it's about 5 tanks of fuel in the Suzuki will only take 4 tanks of fuel in the Honda, and so that's £20 out of every 100. So at today's fuel prices. Other than that, there is nothing to choose between them. The performance of them is different, but perfectly adequate. No one bike was pulling away from the other at any time. They both vibrate that little bit. The Hondas are slightly higher frequency vibration than the V-Strom, in that 70 to 80, which is 110 kilometers to 130 kilometer an hour range when you sit on motorways. But truthfully, if you want to sit on motorways, these aren't the bikes you should be riding. These are all about riding around roads that we've been on today. A roads and B roads, fast and slow over gravel traps, and for two guys with all of the off-road skill of a cheese sandwich combined, we've even been on gravel today and not had a problem at all. They are a delight to ride. Anyway, a very firm thanks to Honda and to Suzuki for lending us their bikes. Transalp XL750, it's 9,500 I think at the time of recording, and that's going to go up, everybody reckons, in about a month's time. The Suzuki 10,000, maybe a little bit more, 10,002. There are a few differences in the accessories. The Suzuki's got a quick shifter, the Honda hasn't. The Honda's got self-cancelling indicators, perhaps they cancel a bit too quickly, but there's a couple of little differences there, but they are minor. Either of these motorcycles, in my garage, I'd be really happy. I think the only reason that Roger would say that he'd pick the Transalp is simply ergonomics, but otherwise, yeah, these are going to be very, very popular. Anyway, that's us. Thank you, Scotland, for not raining on us. Thank you, Roger, for looking after the camera work, and again, our thanks to Honda and Suzuki for lending us their bikes. Thanks. See ya.